late, but it's here, you guys. I've gotten so many DMs like, Morgan, what do you think of the new Natasha Denona Xenon palette? Morgan, where's your shop or drop video? It is here, and it's right on time because today I actually have the early access link to the Xenon palette, so I will link it down below. You must be logged into your Natasha Denona account in order to be able to access the page, but it's like free to make the account. And then if you use the code morganturner15, it will save you 15% off. That's a pretty good discount. So just so you know, in case you want to get it early, you can order it from the Natasha Denona website through my link if you're logged in through your account, because it is early access, exclusive access, and then you can get 15% off. It also will be available tomorrow at Ulta if you want to do the Ulta points. And then I believe the 23rd is the official launch date. I will say though, I love the Natasha Denona website and ordering from that website because normally it's overnight shipping for the most part. The next day or two, I tend to get it, and they bubble wrap it super well, so I've never had a palette break from Natasha Denona. I need to knock on wood, because when I say things like this, stuff like this happens. But yeah, if you're gonna order it, I think, unless you're really wanting the Ulta points, but I feel like Ulta puts their products in the biggest box possible and just throws it in, no protection whatsoever. I've had a lot of issues with Ulta shipping, so for me, Natasha Denona has always been my favorite. Fast shipping, and it was free shipping for me. Sometimes I have to pay a little bit of extra money for their shipping, but I think it was because of the minimum purchase amount. Potentially, just let me know if it's free for you as well, but definitely recommend ordering off of that website, and you can get it today before anybody else. Okay, let's get into it. I haven't looked hard, okay? I've of course seen it. There's no going back, okay? It's all over my page, but I'm going to really do the deep dive live in person, so this is a first impressions. And do keep in mind, I don't have it. This is just a shopper drop. I'm sharing my opinions on it before I get it, so I know what to look for. It's also really important that you guys ask questions that you want to see in my review of this palette so that I can share it with you. So we're just gonna go ahead and start on the Natasha Denona Instagram. I don't have much here. We're gonna spend most of our time on the main website, but this was the first reveal, and like I said, I've seen it, but I've tried to scroll past it really fast so you can see my true thoughts. She's smoky. Now, my only hesitation about a smoky palette this large is I feel like a lot of these shades have the potential to be quite redundant. This is the midi version of the actual mini Xenon palette, and I just feel like this fulfills most bases. Now, just a quick reminder on this little palette, I actually didn't really recommend this one. Like, it's a great smoky palette, but ColourPop has the Blow-In Smoke palette, which has, I'm not even kidding, the exact same colors, dupe for dupe, every single one, as well as more colors, and it's only $14. And I just felt like you had to get the ColourPop instead of the Natasha Denona. In fact, I kind of liked the quality of the ColourPop better. But now we have a lot more to offer here with this large palette. I just don't know if I need this many smoky colors. I'm very curious to see if I feel this palette is redundant when I get to it, but I do like this pinky pop of Snowbow, and then also this Ebb shade looks like it has a little bit of blue. We'll look closer on the website. I want to show you the swatches, but actually first, hey, quiet. But let me read what it says here. The Xenon palette, Ultimate Smoky Eye Essential Palette, completely cool toned, you guys. If you like those grayscale colors, this is perfect. 15 shade extravaganza. The color extension to the viral mini Xenon palette. Was this viral? I feel like it wasn't. I feel like it just isn't for everybody, you know? From classic to cat, soft to sultry smoky eyes, this vivid grays, sparkling silvers, icy pinks, and nude shades is a dream. It's going to be $69, and then you can see the launch dates down below. Okay, I wanted to show you this. Now, this post, as you can see, has all of the shade descriptions, but we'll find that on the website. This is what I love about swatches. That is delicious. Now, keep in mind, Natasha Denona does very aggressive swatches. I mean, I see her digging into those pans, but I love how she showcases how the colors go all the way down the arm. All right, and now I am on the website, as you guys can see. If you are watching this the day that I posted it, you need to be logged into your Natasha Denona account in order to see this page and have access to it, but it is free to join. I highly recommend it. It's great for returns and stuff. This is not sponsored, by the way. I feel like it sounds like it is, though my link is affiliated, but anyways. So here we are on the website. I love to see the looks that she creates. I feel like her website's really special because I get a lot of inspiration from the looks that she creates. Let's see. Multi-dimensional blacks, vivid grays, and icy pinks in her iconic formula, as well as her new, okay, it looks like we have new formulas, innovative sparkling foiled and sparkling wet effect finishes, which we have had before. Are these really new? Maybe it's a new play on a different formulation. Okay, so let's look at the pictures that she has first. So we have the palette right here, which we'll get a closer look in a couple moments. And then here's the first look, definitely not creative enough to do this look, but the grays right here on the inner corner is very interesting. And then here we have the swatches next. This shade looks incredible, like an extremely reflective grayish black, and again that ebb, I love those kind of like navy undertone to it. I mean, it looks very pretty, but I still can't shake the feeling that it's a bit excessive for these grayscale colors, the amount that they have. Let's look at her looks that she creates. This one's really neat. I love this like icy white all over. This is the kind of look that I would create with this palette. Just a really simple, deep, smoky eye. You know, I like an easier glam here. Really interesting what she's done with the liner here and just that icy white all over that she's utilized in a lot of these looks. This one is really cool. I feel like she might have used ebb for this one, and I like that she's showcasing this on a deeper complexion. This one definitely has that ebb shade right here, and then we also have a silver all over, and she's carried a navy-ish liner through the lash line. Keeping it simple, again, this is how I like to do my makeup. Really simple wash of shimmer all over the eyelid. Definitely a lot of talent is necessary. I love how she utilized jewels here, but wow, I love how she uses the pinky shade right here and then a matte gray on the inner corner. I haven't seen a lot of looks that are done like that. Tons of looks for inspiration on her website. Wow, I'm very, very happy with that. Though a lot of these looks are definitely very artistic, not necessarily what I would deem as wearable for myself, but definitely a great place to look for inspiration. Now, a lot of times with these looks on the website, sometimes it can be like, the looks kind of look the same, and honestly, a lot of gray in these looks. I know this palette has so many grays, but it looks like she just used a lot of grays and a lot of like light shades, which I worry about the versatility of this palette because, while yes, the placements are very unique and the looks are very unique, it looks like all of these looks might have been done with like 3 colors. So I am still pretty set on my concerns about this palette. So let's see, it also has a new sparkling wet effect formula. So they are definitely emphasizing a new formula here. So taking a closer look here at the colors, here's a metallic white. Ebb is a metallic midnight blue, like I said. Where is the new sparkling wet? Is it going to be Stellar, which is right here? That's what I'm thinking. The sparkling wet effect must be the new formula, Stellar, which, where is that on the eyeshadow palette? I don't like how the website doesn't have like a big photo of the actual palette. So I think this is going to be the new formula. I believe this was one of the ones that was swatched on the Instagram. But let's see the formula. 6 metallics, 4 mattes, 1 cream powder, and then 3 dazzling sparkling foiled finishes. So yeah, I do believe this is the new one. Sparkling foiled, matte, creamy matte, sparkling metallic, which is a new-ish formula. She plays around a lot with her formulas. Crystal sparkling. She doesn't do this formula very often, but it's a gorgeous one. Now please let me know You can tell if the shades are new or not, just renamed to go with the theme of the palette by these numbers. Let me know if any of these are repeats. I'm taking a quick look at the mini Xenon, and from what I'm able to see, it does not look like there are any repeats numerically, because all of the ones in this palette start with a 5. So it looks like these were created just for this palette, but please correct me if I am wrong, but it looks like these are all new shades. But I don't know how different it's gonna look. Like, I'm comparing it right now to my Xenon, my mini Xenon right here. I just don't know if it's gonna be necessary. So here's kind of my fears. I fear that if you have the mini Xenon, or like I said, the Blow and Smoke from ColourPop, I don't know how necessary this new palette's going to be, but let's hear your guys' thoughts. So as always, I asked you guys on my Instagram to let me know your thoughts this morning. So let's see what we have. I adore this color story for my dark feminine looks, okay? Why so many launches? I like it, but I need a break. And I'm starting to see you guys feeling a little fatigued from all the Natasha Denona launches. You know what? I'm not fatigued. I am actually really happy because I feel like her palettes have been very consistent in formula and the color stories have been very different from one another. So I think, you know what? Sure, she's making that money, she's taking our money, but at least the quality has been consistently good and the color stories have been outside of the box, because that's a big thing that I noticed with some of our favorite brands. A lot of our favorite brands, they start to launch the same color story because that is what sells. Natasha Denona ain't falling for those tricks yet. So a huge kudos to her. I can only praise her for coming out with all of these launches and them being new and exciting. And yes, it's a lot, right? She is launching a lot in a short period of time, but maybe her brand has grown so big, she's reached all of these resources that she now has access to, where she's able to produce a multitude of palettes. They're all different and they're all good quality, so I'm not going to complain yet. Yes, please! I've been waiting. I'm not usually a fan of smoky palettes, but this is gorgeous. Definitely catches my eye. A shop. Hoping I didn't just buy 50 Shades of Grey. Girl, that is what I'm worried about. I'm not super enthusiastic for this launch. I'll talk about it in a little, but I'm worried. I think I did too. Too dark for everyday, so not worth the money for me. Very fair. That's kind of how I feel about myself. Every eye look will probably look the same. I don't think we need this many shades. Looks like there's only 3 or 4 different shades. The mini was enough. That's exactly how I feel, you guys. Love it. Stunning shop. I like the shimmers, but do I need all the dark colors? I'm pale. Honestly, I mean, I'm looking at the palette right now on my computer screen. There are a lot of light shades. There's a lot of dark shades as well, but I feel like if you're pretty fair, there's a ton of options in this palette. It's not like an all black eyeshadow palette, so I don't think you're going to be overwhelmed by the depth, because the depth is always really great to use as eyeliner. So that for me doesn't seem like a concern, but it depends on, you know, what you're going to be able to use or not, and you know yourself better than me. Between ABH, ND, and House Labs, my bank account is crying. Oh my god, I saw those House Labs eyeshadow palettes yesterday. I'm about to see if they have them in store because they look gorgeous. Side note, perfect for winter. It is very appropriate for the season. I love a cool toned color, but this seems too gray. We've seen this before, right? I'm sure the quality is great, but not interested at the moment. Too much for me. Missed opportunity not naming this palette 50 Shades of Grey. I'm absolutely sure there is probably a trademark issue with that. Skipping for sure. We don't need that palette. Yeah, I don't think this color story is going to be for everybody. But again, I cannot compliment and praise Natasha Denona enough for not caring about that, you know? Just because this palette is only for people who love smoky eyes, like, yes, okay? Thank you for not giving us pink. Just saying. Beautiful sparkle, but so repetitive and so boring. It looks like 4 shades only. Everything is the same. These colors aren't for me. Gray and silver look blue on my eyes. Yep, it can have an issue with different undertones. Okay, so many of us are on the same page here. I'm so happy because I was hoping I wasn't the only one feeling this way. Okay, so overall how I'm feeling about this palette, my upper lip, she is sweating right now because I'm wearing a sweater. For me, obviously I did buy it. I will be reviewing it. But if I didn't do what I did for a living, this would be a drop for me because I feel like this is enough for me. Like, I have enough of these shades. I feel like there might be a couple repeats even within the Glam palette, even within the Biba palette. If you didn't know, the Biba palette has a whole row right here of smoky shades. For me, I'm not as into it. I like a smoky eye, I like a cool toned eye, but I just don't need this many shades of those tones. I have them already. The mini Xenon really just sufficed for me. So I'm not as excited about this launch, but I'm okay with that. I think it's great for my smoky lovers, but I'm going to be really seeing if all of these colors were necessary. As you guys said, this palette looks like 50 Shades of Grey, which isn't really necessary, right? If you blend a black out enough, you can get a gray shade. But I will be messing around with this, and I'll let you know if I find these shades redundant or this overall palette necessary. But I did want to get my thoughts out there because normally I'm screaming, crying, throwing up of excitement for a new Natasha Denona palette, and this one, I'm really not feeling that way about, but I'm just excited for all of my smoky lovers who know you're going to use these tones a lot, and I'll keep you updated on the quality because honestly, I did feel like the Xenon, the mini Xenon palette, did not have the best quality. I literally suggested ColourPop over it. So we'll see how this one is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. As always, make sure you share any questions that you have down below about this launch and any comparisons that you want to see, and I will try to incorporate as much as I can into my review when I do get my hands on this. And again, if you are interested in purchasing this, I do have the early link down below, and I will also link once they become available if you're watching this later. And don't forget to use that code if you want to save 15% off. It saved me a lot of money when I purchased it. So yeah guys, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.